Part three of Sportswear Garage, How to Start a Home-Based Screen Printing Business, is going to be the business of screen printing. A lot of folks say to me, how much will it cost me to get started? And it really depends on what you want to do with your business and how much you want to invest. But you can start a real production screen printing business for about $15,000 to $20,000. Now, but what do I mean by a production screen printing business? Enough equipment and supplies that you can quit your day job and do this full time. You can actually make a living doing it. It's a very small amount of money really to start a business. Now, of course, as you go along, you'll be buying more screens and inks and more equipment and different types of equipment, that sort of thing. But you can be a screen printer tomorrow for about $15,000 to $20,000. How much money can I make? Well, again, how much effort are you going to put into this? How many people are you going to tell? I will tell you this. If you've already said to people, hey, I'm going to start a screen printing business, I will guarantee that some of those people have said to you, hey, I need shirts. I buy shirts, or I'll do the first order. On average, most folks who start into this business and serious about it, but doing it even part-time, will bring in about $100,000 in sales the first year. Now, that isn't $100,000 of money in your pocket, because from that you need to pay for your shirts. And invariably, when you, as I mentioned before, you're going to buy all these inks and the very first customer says, I need light purple, then you're going to have to go out and buy a little bit more ink. But over time, you'll start having a collection of screens. You'll have the inks. You'll have all the different squeegees, and then more of that money will go into your pocket. And I'll give you another example. I teach screen printing classes all over the country, and I've done it for many, many years. And at a trade show, somebody walked up to me and said, hey, I'm quitting my job. I took your class last year and I'm going to quit my job. And I said, well, that's fabulous. So you're making enough money. And he said, well, I did about $250,000 in sales my first year. And I'm like, well, that's really fabulous. Then he proceeds to tell me he's a UPS driver. And I thought, gosh, he is walking in the back door of every business on his route. And you know what a receptionist's job is? It's to keep you and me out. It's not to answer the phone. But he was getting in the back door of all these businesses saying, hey, I have a screen printing business, being walked up to the owner's office and taking screen printing orders. Now, I'm not saying go out and be a UPS driver, but I am saying that there are lots of ways to get business, and you should think about those types of things. But you can count on, again, if you let people know what business you're in, about $100,000 in sales in that first year. The business of screen printing, the legal end of it, the rules, the regulations. First of all, get an EIN number. An EIN number is a federal employer's identification number. So it's also called a federal tax ID number. Now, you might say, I'm not ever going to have any employees. But when you go to try to get an account with a supplier, a Sanmar, an Alpha Broder, maybe a NASDAR or somebody like that, they might ask you for your EIN number. And they aren't asking you for any purpose other than, are you a real business? So go out and get your EIN number. You can do it today. You can go to IRS, Internal Revenue Service, irs.gov, and it's free to get an EIN number. And you're going to use that number for like when you do your taxes. Now, if you're a sole proprietorship, you can use your Social Security number, but a free federal employer identification number is really the best way to do it, because it says to people out there in the industry, you are a legitimate business. You'll need a state reseller's license in whatever state you're in. It's going to vary from state to state. Sometimes there's a small fee. It won't be very much. All that is saying that if you collect income tax, you'll send it to the state every 3 months or whatever. And the reason you want that, though, is because if you buy equipment, then so that you don't have to pay sales tax on the equipment or the shirts or the supplies from state to state, but generally every state, all those things are tax exempt if you have a state reseller's license. So make sure you do that. Just go to the state of whatever, and you can type in reseller's license. They'll have a whole section on starting a business in that particular state. And don't be nervous about that. Every state wants you to start a small business. Every community wants you to start a small business because small businesses create revenue, small businesses create jobs. So they will make it as easy as possible for you to get through the process. First of all, getting a state reseller's license. Some local communities will have a business license as well. Even as a writer, in one of the communities I lived in Arizona previously, I had to have a local business license to be a home-based writer for magazines. But you know what? It was $35, and the rules were I could have written on the back of an index card, no trucks parked in your driveway that said the name of your business that was in that house, and not a constant stream of customers or vendors coming to your door. Every community is going to be different, but just go online and see if your community requires you to have a local business license. When it says what type of business you're in, screen printing on garments is considered light manufacturing. So that's what you'll put down there. Let's talk a little bit about pricing your product. The prices you see here are kind of an amalgamation of price sheets from different people around the country. These prices might be high in your community, they might be low, but this is really to give you an idea of how pricing works. With screen printing, the higher the quantity, the more efficient you can be, because a lot of your time is spent setting up your press, tearing down your press. The actual printing part is pretty fast. So the bigger the order, the more money you can make. So therefore, your pricing goes down on a scale. So this example here, a one color print on 12 pieces would be $5 per shirt, because of all the time and effort it's going to take for me to burn that screen, set it up, put the ink in it, print, take the ink out at the end, reclaim that screen. So I want to charge more per shirt. If I have 576 pieces, that same print's going to be 50 cents, because I can print that 576 pieces very efficiently, and it's going to take me the exact same amount of time as it took me to set up for 12 pieces. Add for additional colors, you're going to add a dollar amount. So say it's 72 pieces and it's a 4-color print. I'm going to charge $2 for the initial print and then $1 for each additional color. So that let's say 5-color print, that's going to be $6 in ink in ink cost to the customer. So maybe you've got $3 in the shirt. You're going to charge $9 for a 5-color print for 72 pieces. That's a pretty good price for that customer to pay. Setup means for every screen, I need to coat it. I need to expose it. I need to wash it out. I need to tape it up. I need to set it up on my press. So I'm going to charge $20 per screen. So that 5-color print, I'm going to charge $100 in screen charges. That's just going to cover my costs of preparing that screen and setting it up, and then of course tearing it down at the end. I've seen people go as low as $15. I've seen setup charges as high as $25. Don't feel bad about charging a setup charge, because all of your competitors are charging setup charges. If they're not, they're building it into the price per shirt. A lot of your customers, especially like a retail store that's buying shirts, they want to see what they're paying for the setup and tear down. They don't want you to build it into the price of the shirt. Art prep per hour. Again, I have $35 here. I've seen anywhere from $25 to $50, even $75 an hour to create art. I will tell you this. Most screen printers will give the first half hour free. So what does that mean? Somebody brings in a logo, and all you're doing is it's the Kiwanis logo, and you're dropping in Ashtabula Kiwanis Club, Ashtabula, Ohio. And so in CorelDRAW or in Adobe Illustrator, that's going to take you 5 minutes to do. So again, most people will say the first 30 minutes of art's free. Anything after that, though, if it's going to be an intricate job, people are not going to want to just see $35 an hour or $50 an hour. They're going to want to say, and how long will it take? So you're going to need to quote, because nobody wants to think they're going to pay $50 and get an art bill for $500. So you'll need to do that. Color change. You'll be surprised how quickly somebody will come in and say, I need 144 shirts. 72 of them, this image is going to be red, and 72 of them, this image is going to be navy blue. And so I charge because I want to account for all the time my press is either printing or not printing. So if I have to take a press wash and clean ink out of that screen, red ink out of that screen, and put in navy ink, I'm going to charge $10 for that. If customers provide their own garments, this is called contract printing. All you're charging for is printing. I'm going to have a separate price sheet where I'm going to take these prices and mark them up 1.25 because since I'm not making any profit on the garment, I want to make sure that I make some more money on the printing. Most people do this when they're pricing the garments. Are pricing the printing charge. They'll take the cost, the price of the garment, and maybe let's say it's $250. Plus, if you paid any shipping charge, let's say this shipped for free because of the quantity I ordered. So I'm going to multiply that times 2. That's $5 as my base cost. And then I'm going to add whatever my printing charges are to that. This is basically the pricing that most people will be using in the industry. Maybe not the same numbers, but the same structure as this. Where I end at 576 pieces, above that, either if I have an automatic press or lots of screen printers have automatic presses who will do production work for you cheaply. I don't get any more efficient at above 576 pieces. I'm probably jobbing that out to somebody with an automatic press. So my price is going to stay the same from 576 to 10,000. Let's talk a little bit about business cards. And the reason I have this slide in here in our brief conversation about the business of screen printing is most customers are never going to walk through your door. And even if you have a brick and mortar location, it's not in your garage or your basement, most customers are never going to darken your door. And so you want to have a really, really good business card that says, I'm a professional. And this example, this is actually a business card of a screen printer. And I asked him if I could use this card in my presentation because first of all, on the right, that's actually his hand holding a squeegee. And the backside is a t-shirt that says sketch it here. No one's going to sketch the graphic that they want on that business card. But what's it say to you? It says anything that you can imagine, I can print on a shirt for you. When you give your business card to someone and you are a screen printer, you want that card to look colorful. You want it to look creative. Now, this one's only a 2-color, but it looks very, very creative because our customer wants to know that we are a creative person, that we are a creative business if they want to bring their screen printing business to you. Business cards, you can buy business cards for $20 for 500 cards. So have lots of them and pass them out like candy. As I mentioned, most people won't walk through your doors. So the only thing they'll have that they can take home with them that you hand them at a party is that business card. And you want a business card that catches their eye. Promoting your business. Now, the first way you promote your business is word of mouth. Like I mentioned before, if you don't keep your business a secret, then people will come to you. Most everybody's in the market or they know someone in the market. If you go to a party that has 12 people and you say, hey, I just opened a screen printing business, I'm printing t-shirts, somebody in that group is going to say, hey, I'm in the market for t-shirts, or the PTO was just getting ready to order shirts, or my buddy that has a sports bar, he orders shirts all the time. Let's go over and let me introduce you to him. So word of mouth is number one. Number two is samples. And besides a business card, if you want to drum up business, go online, find somebody's logo, make a film positive, print a shirt, and walk in the door and hand it to them. In my experience, I was 100% successful doing that process. I would walk in and maybe I'd only get an order for 24 shirts, but every single time I printed a sample shirt and put it in someone's hands, they placed an order for t-shirts. And don't worry about, well, that's their trademarked logo. Again, the hundreds of times I've done this, I've never had someone say, oh, you're not allowed to do this. This is trademarked. They're going to say, this is really cool. Do I get to keep this shirt? So sampling is a really great way, especially for a new business, to build a reputation. And once you do that, then you can name drop. You get this tavern over here, and then when you call on the other ones, you can name drop and say, I print for XYZ company or the PTO. If you say that I do all the shirts for North High School, well, Central and South High School, they're going to say, okay, that's good enough for me, because most of the customers you deal with are not professional buyers. So all they can go by is the samples you show them and their gut feeling about whether or not they want to buy from you. The next thing that you need to do, and maybe you're not an internet person right now, but to build your business, you need to be in social media. That's where a lot of creative type products are promoted today. Now, I'm not saying get a Twitter account and post every day, hey, buy shirts for me. You have to post something that people are interested in, and not just be promoting your products, but maybe post pictures of some really cool prints, maybe a customer holding up a print and say, XYZ company just picked up their shirts and they love them, and have that person holding up that shirt. You need to be on Twitter. You need to be on Facebook. You need to be on Instagram. Today, probably on TikTok, because so many people go to those places to find businesses like you. I'll give you an example. I have a good friend, Mel Lay. She had a screen printing shop in the Northwest. She now runs All Made Apparel, but years ago, she didn't want to put her kids in daycare. She had 2 small kids at home. And so she opened a screen printing shop in her garage, and she posted all the time. She would post on Instagram and say, it's midnight. I'm printing an order of shirts. Here's what they look like. And she got a huge following and a huge amount of business just by posting that. So a lot of people say, well, nobody wants to see me print a shirt. Everybody wants to see you print a shirt. If anybody walks into your shop and you're printing, they are going to go right to that press and say, well, first, I used to screen print in high school, or I've always wondered how this is done. This is so cool. Can I pull the squeegee? And so you want to take advantage of that kind of thing. And again, don't be selling ever on there. Just be talking about what you do, and the business will come to you. Now, we have a very short time to talk about the business of screen printing, but so I hope I've shared some ideas that you can use. But let me tell you what the secret to building a successful screen printing business is. It's very simple. Do good work and deliver it on time. It's as simple as that. Do good work and deliver it on time. And here's why I say this. If you look around and say, gosh, there are a lot of screen printers, the competition is going to be fierce. It won't be, because there are lots and lots and lots of screen printers. There aren't very many good screen printers. So get good at what you do and deliver on time, and you will have loyal customers for as long as you have your business. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Terry Combs. This has been Sportswear Garage, starting a home-based screen printing business. You can find me at terrycombs.com, or listen to my podcast, 2 Regular Guides. It's every Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. You can find us on Facebook, on all the Twitter, or I'm sorry, not on Twitter, but all the places where you can listen to podcasts. We've been doing this, and it's industry specific. It's all about garment and product decorating. We've been doing it for 9 years, coming up on our 400th episode. So we have lots of great information we share on there. So go to 2regularguys.com. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I hope I've shared some information that's been helpful for you.